Welcome to another episode of LA Fishguys. While this little hexagon tank's fluorescent lamp is on the verge of burning out, it'll probably start flickering here in a moment. I thought I would take advantage of the opportunity and look further into LED lighting. Now the first thing that comes to mind is a coral reef and LED lighting. And to be quite honest with you, I don't know enough about LED lighting intensity to tell you how much LED lighting to put on top of a living coral reef. What I want to do today is show you what LED lighting can do for what I'll refer to as a more traditional fish-only aquarium. The bulb that you see in here is referred to loosely as a 50/50 bulb. I think it's a Coral Life brand and it was referred to as 50/50. It's 18 inches in length. Now the interesting thing to note here is in regards to hexagon tanks, regardless of whether it's a 35-gallon tank or a 95-gallon tank, the length of the fixture or the hood on top of the tank is always the same. The fixture is 18 inches. Well, that presents itself as a problem for two reasons. One reason is fluorescent bulbs are becoming harder and harder to find. More specifically, certain colored bulbs. And 18-inch bulbs seem to be some of the more difficult ones to get a hold of. Number two, the advancement of LED lighting has gotten to the point where one really needs to consider looking at it as an alternative. My tank manufacturer has brought in a brand of lighting that basically, we'll call them LED strip lights. You can fasten them with kind of a C-clip arrangement or with little magnetic tabs that have a stickum on the back side that this can be placed on the inside of a plastic light hood quite easily. These light hoods or these light strips, the nice thing about them is they're modular in the sense that you can link a number of them together. They offer three colored versions. One is a 10,000K kind of a white bulb, and the other one is a 453 nanometer or a bluish colored bulb. And then there's also around a 700 nanometer, which is a red colored bulb that one might typically use on a freshwater tank, a planted tank, or possibly even a reptile tank. The other issue being the length of the LED fixtures. They're available in a 12, a 24, 36, and a 48-inch long fixture. Well, as I said a moment ago, all of these hexagon tanks, they have a fixture in them that's 18 inches long. So you have to make a choice. You can't put a 24-inch fixture inside a hood that only accepts an 18-inch fixture. And so the alternative would be a 12-inch fixture, something such as this. Now my first thought was that's not going to be enough to illuminate that hexagon aquarium. You're wrong, and let me show you. I'll go ahead and remove the canopy off the top of this tank so we can look at the fluorescent fixture inside the light hood and then compare it to the LED fixtures. So here's a typical light hood that would sit on top of an acrylic aquarium, and you can see there's a fluorescent bulb inside there, and that sits inside a white fixture arrangement, and then it typically has that little push button starter at the very end. You turn it on and it goes flick, 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 and then it starts glowing. And again, there's the fixture that it sits inside of. And this would sit on top of an acrylic tank, the light hood actually serving as the cover for the opening in the top of the acrylic tank. And you can see the type of lighting or how it illuminates the aquarium. It's a pleasing color. It's kind of dare I say, a bit of a pinkish color in there, designed for enhancing the color of a fish as well as corals or decorations. So to give you a little bit of a comparison, here's that fluorescent bulb. This is an 18-inch bulb. It's 15 watts. Here is a 12-inch LED strip, 5 watts. You can almost visually see that there's a significant difference already. To give you an idea as to what it looks like inside the tank, at least the difference between fluorescent lighting and LED lighting, this is fluorescent lighting. And that's LED lighting. Now there's two things that you should notice right away. The LED lighting, the 10,000K strip, seems to be a little bit more, I hate to use the word yellow, but it doesn't have that pinkish glow to it. The second thing that you'll notice is there appears to be a flicker or ripple of light in the tank. That is not due to the fluorescent, or I'm sorry, the LED strip light flickering. That's due to the light passing through the surface of the aquarium. And because LED lighting, like incandescent lighting, is a focused light beam, and so what essentially it does is it creates that kind of like a pool on a sunny day. It's referred to as glitter line or light ripple in the aquarium. Some might find this attractive, some might not find it attractive. By itself, that 10,000K LED light strip illuminates a tank just fine. I'd like to see a little bit more blue along in there, and so one of the advantages of the LED light strips is you can add additional strips to the first one you put in there, and it's done simply by a connector connecting to the second light strip. And adding the second fixture is as easy as plugging it into the opposing end. And here we've added a blue along with the 10,000K white. And here you can see we've got one 12-inch 10,000K LED strip, and we've got also a second 12-inch LED strip of that 450 nanometer blue color, and you can see how it changes the look inside the aquarium, a little bit more deep water. You still get the advantage of the glitter line or the light ripple. So having realized I don't have a whole lot of options left as far as 18-inch fluorescent bulbs, I've made the decision to switch over to LED lights in this particular tank. I'm going to take out that 18-inch 15-watt fluorescent fixture, and I'm going to put in two 12-inch LED strips. One will be a 10,000K white, and the second one will be a 453 nanometer blue bulb. Let me show you how easily this is done. So the removal of the old fluorescent fixture should be fairly easy. This bolt or nut back here sometimes can be a little rusted. The installation of the LEDs should be quite simple though. So let's start first by removing the old fluorescent bulb.
Tropical Fish Hobbyist magazine has been the authoritative source for aquarium keepers since the first legendary issue rolled off the presses in 1952. With informative articles month after month about the fascinating world of freshwater aquariums, saltwater setups, paludariums, ponds, and more, illustrated in crisp detail by the world's top aquatic photographers. TFH covers it all. And now, with subscriptions starting at $13.95 and a mobile digital edition you can take with you wherever you go, TFH is your ultimate resource for all things aquatic.
Hi there, my name's Jim Stime and you know me as the LA Fish Guy. Well, I also wear a couple of other hats.
One of them is the jellyfish tank called the Jelly Aquarium, and the third is myfishtank.com. I offer an entire line of acrylic aquariums ranging from rectangular to hexagon, flatback hex, as well as the custom curve front aquariums. There's also an entire line of stands and canopies ranging from MDF to pine to oak with a variety of different finishes available. And the website is even smart enough that you can calculate what the freight and crate charges to your location will be. That's myfishtank.com. It's this nut, and there's usually just one, sometimes two, that has to be removed, and that's what's holding the fixture in, and quite often this nut is rusted. This one wasn't rusted, but the end of the screw that it's threaded onto is spread out somehow, so it's not going to come off by hand. And that should just come right off from the back side. And again, there's the old screw poking through, which is somehow affixed itself to the inside of the fixture now. We still have the electrical end here, and of course, assuming you've got it unplugged, we'll just take these little wire nuts off right here, and that should remove the power from the fixture. Quite often there's the little push button starter switch that should easily come out of position in there. There we go, and that allows us to remove the fixture entirely from the hood. Then there's this little wire, I don't know what you call this thing. It helps secure the wire power cord into place, and we want to remove it. Appears as though it opens there, and that easily then comes off. A crimp, I guess maybe is what you might call that. An electrical wire crimp that helps secure the power cord inside the light hood, so the power cord doesn't tug too much on the electrical connections. We'll probably use that on our reinstallation of the LEDs. So with the fixture removed from the light hood, we should now have an empty light hood. It's an opportune time to get a towel and clean the inside as well as the outside of that light hood. So here's a couple of those LED strips. These happen to be two of the 12-inch ones. These ones draw 5 watts each. They've got these pin connectors at the ends, and you can use these little wire connectors that have a male plug at the end to connect multiple of these strips together, as long as you don't exceed the amount of power or amperage or wattage that the power supply is generating. The other unique thing about these is the way that they can be mounted. First of all, they've already got kind of a little magnetic tab already built inside there. I'm not sure if you can see that. And so one of the mounting mechanisms is simply just a little metallic tab with some double back tape on the back side, which is what we're going to use today. But I've also installed the alternative version, which are these little kind of aluminum C-clips, and they have a hole in the center that you would drill into your wooden canopy or whatever it is you're attaching them into, and they would get affixed inside there, and then the strip lights with this groove on the back side basically end up snapping inside there. It's a bit of work to get them to snap in there, but they're not going to fall out. And so what I'm going to do today is use these double back metallic tabs and utilize the magnets on the inside of on the back side of the LED light strip. And since I myself don't foresee having more than 3 strips in this particular light hood, and most likely just 2,
Although I am tempted to try the red one just to see what color it does add to the tank. So I will probably measure every inch apart. That'll allow me the 2 regular ones and then potentially a third one if I decide to increase it. I'm assuming the metallic tabs will easily come undone or with a little effort come undone and allow me to modify this if I want.